Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, but I'm excited to be back today and we are going to be testing out a new little eyeshadow palette that I just picked up in the mail. This is the new Natasha Denona Mini Dream palette. I'm very excited to open this up and try it out with you guys today. I'm curious about this one. I was reading up on this and I'm kind of curious how this palette came to be. So we'll talk a little bit about it as we get into the makeup. And then we'll just kind of fill in with some stuff that I am excited to use. Hopefully that sounds like fun to you guys. Before we get into the makeup, I want to wish any of you that are new a special welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure your notifications are turned on. And with that said, let's get right to it. Okay, so we should probably start with the primer. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My skin is feeling a little bit on the dry side. Let's just take a little bit of my Milk Hydra Grip. Just run a quick layer of that all over, and then I'm gonna keep using my fingers and we're gonna jump right into my Purito BB cream. I have 2 shades. I have the shade 27 and 13, probably 2 parts 27, 1 part number 13, which is quite a bit too light. So just kind of spitballing it here. It's gonna rub those together on my fingers and apply it all over my face, starting right in the center. This always looks so yellow when I first apply it, but once I blend it in, I feel like it goes well with the rest of my coloring down below. Or I could be wrong. Maybe I am walking around looking kind of like an Oompa Loompa. Speaking of Oompa Loompas, Charlie is at Wonka right now with her grandma. How many of you guys have seen the new Wonka? I feel like I'm bound to be disappointed. Love the original. I kind of thought the Johnny Depp one was a little bit odd. Charlie actually really likes that one, but I don't know. This one looks way different than what I'm used to from the original story. It kind of looks like, it doesn't feel Roald Dahl to me. I don't know, I feel like there's been a lot of like disappointments in movies over the last couple of years, so I'm kind of afraid to go see one that holds this special like nostalgic place in my heart. But I'm sure Charlie is gonna love it. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of concealer. Let's just take my YSL All Hours concealer. I have the shade LW1. Just a little bit under my eyes. This applicator looks so large, but it does not hold a lot of actual product, which I always think is so weird. Okay, I don't know. What do we think of that? I feel like my skin does not look amazing today. That's okay. Let's finish off with the face. Let's just go in with a little bit of my old school Milk Makeup bronzer stick. That is ginormous. Lucky me. The original giant size. I wonder if some people complain because it does start to get kind of like grimy and it's just so much product. It would take a while to use this thing up. So maybe people actually didn't like the big size. They didn't appreciate the value you get in this bronzer stick. A part of me wonders if this is like going bad, but then I remember this has always smelled a bit odd. It just has kind of like a crayon box or Play-Doh sort of smell. It's just kind of different, but I have had this thing for a while. Okay, to go with our palette that we're going to be using today, I wanted to pull out the My Dream Cheek Trio. This came out, was it last year that she came out with the My Dream palette? The mid-size one. She came out with this then as well. I never really fell in love with this thing. I'll be honest, it was always a bit of a regret for me because it was pretty pricey. I don't know that I used it enough to really give it a good judge. But that said, as I was looking at this palette, I noticed this thing on there and it got really good reviews. So we're gonna try it out again today, see if my mind can be changed. So let's start off in this cream blush right here. I do love the color of this cream brush. I think it's really pretty. I like the formula. I just think of the price tag of this. I don't mind spending a little more for Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes, but face palettes and products, maybe not so much. So let's just dip into that blush with my Alter Ego brush. Tap onto the cheeks. It's a beautiful color. Might have gone a bit heavy. Let's just tap that out with my sponge. It's a very satiny matte finish, which I really like. Definitely not emollient and greasy or creamy in that way. Okay, let's add some of the highlighter. So I don't really know the order you're supposed to apply these in. Let's start with the cream highlighter. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of this on my finger actually, and just apply that right at the high points. I kind of feel like you should maybe do this the other way. Like put the powder on first and then apply the Spotlight cream highlighter. That's actually really pretty. And then let's take the Dream Glow right here and apply that kind of right on top where I put the cream highlighter base. It does say it's a base, so maybe I am doing this right. It's pretty. My cheeks look very pretty. I don't know why this is just not really grown on me. I need to keep it out and keep using it because I do really like how that looks on my skin, which, let's be honest, my skin does not look its best today. But let's move on. Let's finish off with the brows and then we'll go into the eyeshadow palette. So for my brows today, I'm just gonna take a little bit of my e.l.f. brow lift, rub that between my fingers, and press it into the brows. I'm gonna get a spoolie. Let's brush those up right, and then we're gonna use a liquid brow pen today. Not a brow form I use very often at all, but I saw it in my drawer. It's been a while, so I figured, what the hey. This is the Milani Weekend Brow. Kind of take that and fill it. All right, brows are done. Let's rip into the My Dream palette, the Mini My Dream palette. So it says the creation of this Mini My Dream palette was based around her favorite shade in the original My Dream palette right here. And that's the shade right here, Nurture. When I read that and saw that shade, a part of me was like, that's kind of a boring looking shade, but I get why she picked a shade like that to be her favorite because it's such a good building block shade. So this is it right here in the corner. It's the medium matte brown right there. Very pretty shade. I do love that one in the My Dream palette. By the way, I love this palette. It's a really good one from her. I am, however, starting to feel, and I don't want to state this definitively yet because we haven't tried this one out quite yet, but I'm starting to feel a little bit of overlapping. Not duplicating necessarily, but there's starting to be some overlap in certain shades within her palettes as she's come out with so much. She's not the only one. This is just kind of what happens when you release a lot of palettes. Eventually things start to look like each other. So we'll see if I feel like this one is unique enough to justify getting it or going out and spending your money on it if you have a lot of her eyeshadow palettes already. But let me go ahead and insert a close-up of the palette for you guys right here, along with some swatches so you can see how the shades look compared to each other. It looks like a basic but very beautiful little palette. I do love the shimmery, the sparkly shimmers. Let's just get started with this color right here. This is the color Loyalty. Very, very, very light tan. I have a feeling this will barely show up on my light, maybe leaning light medium skin tone. Although sometimes I'm deceived. Sometimes her shades don't look very dark or pigmented in the pan, but they apply a lot more visibly than I would assume they would. It's definitely showing up. That's actually a really good starting shade for me. Obviously that's going to depend on your skin tone. I'm going to take just a little bit more right on the tip, that same color, run it down below, halfway across. Okay, now let's go into her favorite shade right here, the shade Nurture. Take a little bit more on the tip of the brush and run that just through the socket. Just a very like neutral, almost like a peachy brown. It's kind of warm and cool at the same time. It's an interesting color. As you blend it, you get this like peach haze around it, but it has that, it kind of maintains that cool tone. I just imagine this is a color that would be a good building block shade for so many different colors that you might want to layer on top of it. Cool tones, warm tones, lighter, darker. It seems very versatile. It is pretty. Look at that beautiful shadowing. And now I have two of this color. Yes, let's take this shimmer right here. Just not sure how dark this one's gonna be. This is the shade Devotion. I'm gonna apply that all over the center of the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. Kind of a taupey brown. Now I wanna dip into this dark matte brown right here. I'm assuming this is a matte. No, wait, this is the color Loyalty. That very first shade that we started with is the color, that one is the color Balance. So this is Loyalty. That one was Balance. Sorry about that. I often get confused translating the back to the front. Just gonna concentrate this at the lash line. All right, pretty quick and easy. Now let's jump into this shimmer right here. This is called Passionate. Beautiful, sparkly, kind of shell pink. And we're gonna tap that all over the inner third of the lid. It's a great metallic. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of liner. I'm just gonna take some of my Wet n Wild Simma Brown Now liner, then I'll put on a couple coats of mascara, then I'll be right back and we'll finish off with the lips. Okay, eyes are all finished. It's beautiful. The eye look is very, very beautiful. It's not the most creative or unique color story, but it's not exactly the same as her other mini palettes. Let me know if you guys would like me to do like a detailed comparing my Natasha Denona palettes to each other. I know I've done a ranking video before, but there are some things like this one, for example, I feel, while it's not exactly like her other mini palettes, I'm definitely getting subtle mini glam vibes, which I actually don't like that palette very much. I do like this one a lot better than the mini glam, but with almost a very subtle sprinkling of pink in it. I'm not mad at it. I think this look is very beautiful, very neutral. If you like your neutrals that aren't too warm or too cool, I feel like this would be a really good option for you. All right, let's finish off with the lips. Just gonna take a little bit of my Juvia's Place Luxe lip liner. Just overline on the center a little bit. And then we're going to do something I have not done for a while. We're gonna add a lipstick instead of going straight to the gloss. Let's take my Sephora Lip Stories and Tan Lines. This is such a good nude if you like a lighter nude. And then let's top that with a gloss I haven't used for a while. This is Fussy from Fenty. And that, my friends, is gonna do it for today. What do you guys think of the completed makeup look? What do you guys think of this eyeshadow palette? Is it something that caught your eye that you were interested in? Or maybe you're more in the camp of I have eyeshadow palettes coming out my ears and I just don't need anymore. I kind of feel that way. As much as I love buying and trying makeup for you guys, sometimes it just feels like a little bit much, a little excessive. But then again, I actually have a few other eyeshadow palettes that I'll be back to share with you guys very soon. It's such an issue, right? I'm sure I'm not the only one that kind of fights this battle of like, yes, I want more. I definitely don't need it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Let me give you one last reminder. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.